Bhairava Kalike, Namostute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo Nama. Om Namo Bhairavaya Swaha. Jai Shri Bama Khepa, Jai Shri Shama Khepa, Jai Khepa Parampara, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Madhya, Jai Madhya, Jai Madhya, Jai Madhya, Jai Ma. So good morning, and we're back on yet another video. So today's subject, look at this fellow. So today's subject is Kala Bhairava, and I am about to release the Beeja mantra and Sadhana Vidhi of Kala Bhairava, and for that I have specifically planned to open a separate WhatsApp group because it cannot be released to everybody. It has to be released to people who specifically satisfy the conditions that I seek to lay down on today's video. So this video I want to put down the conditions that I in my own experience have realized that these conditions have to be satisfied for somebody who generally will do well in Kala Bhairava Sadhana Vidhi paths. So before that, you need to understand the concept of Bhairavi Yatana. You must have heard this. Sarida, Bhima. Bhairavi Yatana. That's Bhima. He's trying to assert dominance on the other dogs, who are none other than his own grandkids, right? Vajra is his grandson. So he's trying to assert dominance because only he gets to use the bed, and he's trying to drive others away. And the one that you see on this side, the Vaji, that is Vajra. So he was born at the same time as my second son. So going by the Vajra, which has two sides, I named him Vajra and my son also Vajra. So my son was born with the Vahana, right? Same nakshatra, everything. So two Vajras in this house. Anyway, Karpa, hey Karpa. We have hey Kanne. We have some senior sadhakas with us of this Shakti Pitha, Karpan, Kamakshi, Bala. Bala cannot be seen because she generally likes to, if you can just see right behind Kamakshi, you can see Bala there. So coming to the subject, you must have heard the word Bhairavi Yatana of late, especially spoken by, so every time I say Bhairavi Yatana, some dog somewhere is barking, right? So it's a very important concept, and it aligns with the iconography of Bhairava very well. Recently in the satsangs I had spoken about his iconography where he holds the pasha of Yama and been down with a little bit of flu, right? He holds the pasha of Yama, and the major difference between Bhairava holding the noose and Yama holding the noose is that Yama takes control of the Atma after the Stula Sharira is done, and the Stula Sharira is no longer alive, medically speaking, right? Then he takes control of the Atma and pulls him, right? This is Yama. Whereas Bhairava, being the highest states of consciousness itself, he has the pasha and he can take control of the Atma even while the Stula Sharira is alive and doing well, right? That is the whole concept of Bhairava Sadhana itself. So medically, they have done sufficient research. You can find this online if you search for it. Once the heart stops beating, 30 seconds before the heart stops beating and 30 seconds after the heart stops beating, right? When they have done the studies, they have noticed that the brain goes through certain waves, the gamma, alpha, beta. I'm not going to go into technicalities because number one, I am not a technical guy. I have no interest in technicalities. I go by thousand years old scriptures and experiences of our monks, and I'm not the medical science guy, right? So you can do the research by yourself. So this 30 seconds before death and after death is called the research has found that it is classified by intense brain activity waves. The gamma waves are intensely active, and it resonates with somebody who's going through a process of, say, memory recollection, hypnosis, somebody who's being put through a memory breakdown kind of a exercise when they're alive, the same waves are detected before the body is dead, 30 seconds before the heart stops beating, and 30 seconds after the heart stops beating also the same level of activity is detected in the brain. You even I generally death is something that I very deeply speak on, deeply meditate on, right? So when I generally try to read more and more on death, I generally tend to look into the experiences of hospital nurse and all that. So what I've noticed is in the nursing community, something that I've noticed is before an elderly patient is about to die, right? They are usually extremely happy, and it appears as if they have gone back to their old selves when they were much younger. They become extremely active, lively, interactive, and they become like, I would like to eat my this favorite food. I would like to eat that. Give me this. So how are you today? They start interacting really well, and generally very experienced nurses, they are able to quantify this, that okay, this level of activity this old patient is showing, probably in the next 48 hours they might pass off. So this is something I read majorly by spending time in forums and all that specifically are for medical staff, hospital staff, nurses who are very, like 30-50 years of experience being in the hospitals. When they journal their experiences of death, they say that before death, 48 hours, the person actually begins to behave like there is no disease, there is no sickness, they have no BP, pressure, nothing. They're just they start talking about the family. They said, when is my daughter coming? So they become that normal and very high in energy 48 hours before death. And now connect this to the other research which says that just before death and just after death, brain activity, the brain waves that are studied is similar to something like a memory recollection or hypnosis. When somebody is placed under hypnosis and a specific memory is being retrieved through them, is the same brain waves. So this is Yatana. Bhairavi Yatana, generally Sadguru of Isha. Of late, you would have found, not of late, even before the Bhairava subject burst out specifically on the YouTube sphere, he has been speaking about Kala Bhairava for a very long time, right? Very long time. And he has been speaking about Bhairavi Yatana. So if you have heard this term, probably you heard it from one of the podcasts or one of the videos of Sadguru of Isha, right? What does it mean? It simply means Yatana is hellish torture. Why is it called a torture? Because you are being shown this intense flashback of your life and all the karmic events that are pending, that you have gone through, that you have lived through that in specific life, and the body crumbles with pain as it witnesses its own karma. Every moment of pain, every moment of trauma intensely begins to flash in front of your eyes. And that is what medical science, now connected to medical science, 30 seconds before death, 30 seconds after death, that brain activity. That is the function of Yama. It is not Bhairavi Yatana, it is Yama, right? Bhairavi Yatana specifically, if you need to understand, Yatana by itself simply means the hellish torture. Every time I say Yatana, you can hear some dog somewhere, right? Every time it happens. So Yatana by itself means intense torture of what? Your own karmic events that project onto your own head and make you go through the entire flashback of your own karma. However, Bhairavi Yatana is even deeper than that. You need to connect to the left hand pasa that Bhairava holds, wherein he takes control of the Atma before the death itself. So generally, now coming to the subject, it's been 10 minutes already. Short video lovers will be upset. So taking control of the Atma and putting you through the Yatana while you are still breathing, alive, that is Kala Bhairava Sadhana. Bhairava by itself, if you look at Bhairava, there is no Kala attached to his name until he attains the state of Kala Bhairava and the skull falls in the state of Kashi. This is the general understanding of Bhairava. However, when he attains the state of Kala is when he is able to take control of the moksha path. Until then, he goes through that entire cosmic tapasya of roaming all over the Devaloka, Asura Loka, all the 14 lokas he roams, right? Understanding and taking control of that He's just that manifestation of Shiva who's now tickboxing. Okay, what is the process here? Okay, what is the process here? He's come out to give the ultimate jnana of moksha, right? So he's tick marking everything. अच्छा यहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है, ऐसा चल रहा है, tick. Bhima, Bhima. So tick boxing everything ultimately to take control and give the fastest jnana, because he is Shiva itself and the son of Kali, Batuka. This is Batuka that roams, not Kala Bhairava. When he sits down, it is Kala, and he gains the jnana of Kala jnana, thereby becoming the master of time. This baby version of Bhairava, roaming all over the 14 lokas and finally sitting down as the Kala Jnani, Kala Bhairava, right? Until then, he does not have mastery over time. This 30 seconds before that, 30 seconds after that, that Yama puts you through, Bhairava puts you through when you're alive, right? And you can quantify that over a period of 3 years. Generally in Kala Bhairava sadhana, the first 3 years, it will be Yatana. And it is not just us human beings alone that are going through this. At the highest states, Brahma's head decapitating is nothing but his Yatana. He is being killed at that moment and given Yatana, where Yama goes through his entire karma chakra, what he was in specific realms and how he attained the state of Brahma. Who were you? Remember who you are, who gave you birth. Son of the ultimate Adhya Kali. Yama is the son of Adhya. Right? So this jnana is given to Brahma when he loses the fifth head. This is Brahma's Yatana. And in Skanda Puran, it is very clearly mentioned that Bhairava, that is Vatuka. So the one who roams is Vatuka. Vatuka to Kala Bhairava, the entire Ashta Bhairava, 64 Bhairavas, all the Bhairava forms will be there within these two stages of Bhairava's progression. However, we do not need to get into the individual sadhana. We do Vatuka and we do Kala Bhairava. That's sufficient. The phases will continuously change within you. You need not even, suddenly there will be this intense urge within you to fall in love with Krodha Bhairava, fall in love with Ruru Bhairava, but you don't have to do the sadhana. You just need to continue the sadhana of Vatuka or continue the sadhana of Kala Bhairava. This passing of urine that you see is considered as one of the most auspicious signs in Gau Seva itself, and earlier when the kings and all, they used to dig wells or complete any deal, they used to see this as one of the biggest nimittas, right? Today of course people will laugh, but that is in my life, when I went to procure Karupan, I'm just digressing a little bit, when I went to procure Karupan, I didn't want a female calf at all, because the male mindset at that state was there. It was still not completely set into me. She came right in front of me, turned and passed that urine on to me, and then everybody there were like surprised. They are all traditional, they have been like ancestrally keeping cows. They said that, do you know what it means? They asked me, I don't know. I said that no, she passed her urine on me. This is the sign. Even if you take her for free, but you have to take her. And she was the calf they wanted to keep, because she is very beautiful, extraordinary specimen, as per scientific thing, if I had to put it, for the breed of Kangayam, she is an extraordinary specimen. Right? So, because of that, I took her home. Hey, Vajra is here. Vajra is here, and Bheem is not happy if anybody comes close to me, right? So, he's my primary guardian. He also sleeps in my bedroom, Primary guardian, see how he's looking. Right? So, where was I? Unfortunately, I don't have any of my human Shishyas here to remind me where I left off. Where was I? Right? So, auspicious sign. When she stood up and she did that, it is very auspicious. Anyway, coming back to our subject, you don't have to specifically get into the sadhana of different forms of Bhairava. It is simply sufficient that you get into Vatuka and Kala Bhairava. The phases will continuously change across the entire Ashta Bhairava, and across 64 Bhairavas will manifest in your life as you go through. Specifically, if I give you Vatuka to Kala Bhairava, only station that I will ask you to stop is at Swarnakrishna Bhairava for young men. I will also give you the specific subset of people who can graduate to Kala Bhairava in this video, provided I am able to focus. I'm with my annuals and I get really defocused. if that is a word, right? Jaima. So, so in Skanda Puran, there is a mention of how Bhairava walks up to Vaikuntha and with Brahma's Kapala, he shows it to Vishnu and Mahavishnu, and he asks him for the blood offering because he's going to the entire Devaloka asking for blood. So when Mahavishnu makes a cut here and he offers it, it is his Yatana. Because we have specific galaxy where we have the specific Deva, specific Grahas, everything, and then beyond that galaxy, even the highest Trimurtis are not aware of it. So Mahesh, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are not aware of what is beyond that. However, Mahesh can take you to that state, but he need not project that onto the entire cosmic being that we identify as Milky Way, right? So when he takes the blood of Mahavishnu, what is a deeper meaning of this mentioned in Skanda Puran is that it is Yatana. He keeps on filling that, and the kapal, it never fills up, right? And then he is about to faint when, at the request of the consorts of Mahavishnu, Bhairava bows his head and walks off. So that is Yatana, and him taking control of the entire Jnana, that is Mahavishnu. If you look into the Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, I will specifically post a video on Kala. Now that we have got the Adesh to start the sadhana of Kala Bhairava, I will also break down the Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, which is simply directly being translated from Sanskrit, but from the Kala Bhairava Sadhaka's eyes, that is a completely Guhya Vidya. Every single detail within Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, if directly translated from Sanskrit, will give you a simple meaning. However, for the Kala Bhairava Sadhaka who has been in the path of Kala Bhairava and Ma Kali, there is deep secrets in every line. I will break it down specifically because I don't want this video to go for many hours. Anyway, so Brahma goes through the Yatana when he loses the head. Mahavishnu goes through the Yatana when he offers blood into the Brahma Kapala that Bhairava holds, right? Everybody, once Bhairava wakes up within the bloodline or in the specific cosmos 5,125 years after the Kali Yuga begins, will have to go through Yatana. However, it is different from Yama's Yatana, which is 30 seconds before death and 30 seconds after death. Bhairava Yatana is when Mahavishnu was alive, when Brahma was alive, when you are alive. So the moment he attains the title of Kala Bhairava, right? Consciousness roaring, but master of Kala Jnana, the mastery of time now exists within him. Once that happens, now he can control when do you go through the Yatana. So first and foremost, why did I give you this entire colossal story of Kala Bhairava? And what Yatana means is that once Bhairavi Yatana begins within you, the Atma has to be handed over to Kala Bhairava. So if you are in the sadhana of Kala Bhairava, I will take a small detour. This dog barking is not not in the Pitha, not in the Shakti Pitha. It is in the neighbor's house. However, he was born to my dog Cleo. So the dog that is continuously barking from outside, he was born with a tilak like this, right? I loved him so much that I didn't want to send him off. He was actually booked by somebody in Punjab. I was supposed to send him to Punjab, and at just one-fifth of the cost, I gave him to the neighbor, so that he will be here. So he's on the Lakshmi corner of the neighbors are at the Lakshmi corner of our house, and we still have him, right? He was born with a tilak, so that is the dog barking. Anyway, so once you enter the Kala Bhairava path, Yatana begins almost immediately. So first and foremost, the warning that I am giving to you is that Atma will get unplugged and your Yatana begins, but it will not be 30 seconds of absolute dissolution which Yama gives you. No, it will be 3 to 4 years of absolute dissolution, that is pain. Tolerance also he will give you, but it is compulsory. After death wala Yatana, that you have no control over it, right? You have no way to control the speed, you have no way to control the outcome. However, Yatana while alive, which is Kala Bhairava Sadhana, allows you to control the outcome. Once you finish the Yatana, which could be 3 to 4 years of extremely painful period, right? You will then have the state of moksha, which is Kali. Bhairava loses the skull in Kashi. Kashi is 208th name of Kali. So without going through the sadhana of Kala Bhairava, you will never be able to unlock the state of Kali, which is Kashi. Mukti. She's so mukt that she's not even bound by the societal standards of how Mahadeva is. Mahakala Bhairava is that high and you have to be respectful to him, but she stands on him because वो image से भी उनको मुक्ति मिल गया है. So Matripura Sundari, higher Matara, begins to give you that hint. When I break down Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, I will give you the hints of Matara is also there in it. Then you go higher, Ma Kali. Even Matara is like that gentle image that she shows. You will see slightly my tongue is coming out, slightly I'm standing in the smashana, all the skulls are around me. However, it is still Matripura Sundari only, but don't worry. I'm going to give you an even higher image very fast. So Matara is very fast because she is Kali only, but accelerate you to actual Kali state. Again, I digress. So, if you wish to start the sadhana of Kala Bhairava, get ready for Yatana, which could be 3 to 4 years, and it will be intensely painful but extremely under control, because it is not Yama but Bhairava. He appears in that fearsome state because it is going to be fearful. Lekin ek difference, and I'll tell you, this is the biggest plus point that one can hope for. You're alive. You're in control. You're watching your karma unfold, not as a dead body, but as a living being. Is there a bigger plus point than that? I cannot find a bigger plus point than that. I've gone through it. And I'll tell you the list of people who would do very well in Kala Bhairava Sadhana. I have, to my best of my ability, I have put it down. The Beeja mantra will and the sadhana vidhi will be released into a separate WhatsApp group, so that the Swarna Krishna Bhairava Sadhaka, Ma Adhya Kali Sadhakas are not seeing that, and they are not getting into that confused state where should I do this, should I not do that. I'll give you the list of conditions. If you satisfy that alone, you should do it. Many people might, if you specifically are feeling fear, oh my god, I'm very afraid of doing this, let this video play a few times in your, watch it a few times, let it slowly build within you. Every Ashtami we will open this WhatsApp group. At some state, if you feel that I'm ready for it finally, at that moment you can get into the WhatsApp group. You need not get into it on Kala Bhairava Jayanthi, when this WhatsApp group will become live and I will release the vidhi there. You don't need to enter that day itself. You can wait. कोई rush नहीं है. Ultimately तो आना इधर ही है. You'll have to come to the smashan. कोई rush नहीं है. Get her. Very naughty she is. Kanne? Hey Kanne? Kanne? So I never called her Kamakshi. Kanne Kutti means the baby cow, baby calf, right? So I called her Kanne only. See, very beautiful. Bhima they said, Karpa. See, Karpan showing the back. They varanga. Karpa? 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 He got a very long rope, but he keeps going around the pillar and it becomes smaller and smaller. Right? So ideally, who can start the Kala Bhairava Sadhana? If you are over the age of 33, general guideline. People who are, who have spent 20 is the right age for somebody to generally detach from their parents and look forward to their own lifestyle, to understand why you have taken birth into the specific body and now what is your purpose, and it will the leaving of the nest mentally begins around 20, and by 20 to 23 you should physically be able to leave the nest and operate individually, and then from 20 to 33 what you go through can be compared to the 12 cosmic tapasya period. So 12 years of Vanavasa and 1 year of Adhyata Vyasa, which is what the Pandavas went through. So it is not my guideline. It is already given by Sri Krishna. So 33 to 35 is the ideal age. Somebody could be very advanced and they can get into Kala Bhairava Sadhana at 18, but ideally if the family related desires, I'll go through that in detail, but if you're not, if over your desires, it might not work. Kala Bhairava Sadhana might not work. He will still push you towards Vattuka Bhairava, right? Because wo skull ab tak gira nahi hai. You're still holding the Brahma Kapala and going through Brahma's design, right? Which also includes Deva Loka, it also includes Asura Loka. 14 Lokas are involved in it. He traveled the entire 14 Lokas. So, settled in career. How is your career state right now? Do you wish that you are in ABCD industry? Do you wish that you were in XYZ industry? That wish, the urge to realign your career is there within you. Every day you're going to your job and you're cribbing and you are looking at this other path which is very interesting to you. Then you might not yet be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana. There is some physical quest within you for your career. You might not be ready because Kala Bhairava will usually only push you to the state of moksha. That is his state. You will be single focus on moksha. Moksha is Kali, Kashi. He administers Kashi, 208th name of Kali. If you have the specific desire, hum IT mein hai, I wish I could get into this career. This sort of thoughts related to your career, that means your energy is aligned towards the money part of it. Money, career is money. If somebody stops paying you your salary tomorrow morning, will you go to the office anymore? You won't. So the money energy, that is Ma Kamala, the 10th Mahavidya, the last. People call it the last. No, but that ideally that is the first. Kali is the first, but for the human being, Ma Kamala is the first. Generally, your entire life will be aligned towards wealth, right? So Ma Kamala or your career, which is the first Mahavidya that will begin to interact with you. If your life is aligned towards wealth, which is your career, and you are still trying to fix it, and how do you get money, and your full focus is towards that, you might not be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana yet. Analyze it yourself. Archie, that is Archie. Talk about Kala Bhairava, and Karupan has sat down. Karupa? Hey Karupa! Get him. Nothing is more beautiful than a Kangayam bull in black. This color is called Kari, right? Even inside of his ear, everything will be black, right? No confusion regarding your career choice, because once you begin this sadhana, you will be entirely focused onto this Yatana begins, and at that point, everything will begin to crumble. Brahma went through it, Mahavishnu went through it, it is Yatana, and everybody will have to go through it eventually. But once Kala Bhairava, Bhairavi Yatana, it begins, that ability will no longer will be in fixing your career. वो सब करके आओ. That is why I have given word to Swarna Krishna Bhairava. So 33 tak, if you are still not settled yet, you might push Vatuka Swarna Krishna Bhairava, put the bloodline through intense growth for the next 10 more years, 15 years. 53 में आओ, कोई problem नहीं है. लेकिन if specifically your mind is always sitting on I need to fix this, I need to fix that, then Kala Bhairava sadhana might cause intense troubles within your ability to realign your career and all that. फिर भी कर सकते हो, but the realignment will be extremely painful. If you're ready for that, do it. Marriage. Are you okay with your current state in your marriage? Do you constantly wish that you wish that your wife or husband was better off? You wish for a more beautiful wife, questing after all that. You wish for a more handsome man. You wish for a more understanding man. You wish hai andar, and you're not at a state where at the witness consciousness of he is my wife or he is my husband and I'm fine. If you're not at that state, generally you might not find that the marriage lasts, right? In Kala Bhairava sadhana. So how do you fix it? Attain the state of the witness consciousness by spending more time in sadhana of Vatuka Swarna Krishna Bhairava. He will give you that sthirata in the brain that will allow you to attain shunyata in the marriage. Usme spend karo time. And the confidence and the ability to be happy. That happiness is also wealth, right? वो देंगे. Once he gives you, you can move this side. Because in Kala Bhairava sadhana, the only quest is moksha. And Bhairava attains moksha when the skull falls, and that place is called Kashi. Kashi is Kali. Moksha. Right? So Kala Bhairava, if you're coming the master of time, now consciousness roaring, but Kala Jnani, right? That is where you're going. All this physical desires and all will generally fall off. So अगर वो है तो वो करके आओ. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So marriage related है, marriage करना है. You're searching for the girl, searching for the boy. Vatuka Swarna Krishna Bhairava. Kala Bhairava, if you are ready and accepting or attain the state of the witness consciousness, we are witnessing the marriage going through and you're fine. Tick marked, done. Children, if you're generally having intense ambitions that you're loading onto the child, you might not be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana, because even the child is merely the witness of the Maya. You're witnessing the child exists. उस पे बहुत बड़ा dream सब नहीं डाल रहा हूँ मैं. I myself have become so, not me, you. I have become so exceptional that my son will definitely attain moksha state and he will be able to operate at the state of moksha. This level of understanding you have, and you're not trying to control him, hold him and throw him, cut him through and place him in a specific design. If this level of maturity is something that you have attained and you're not pushing your child for some specific desire that you had, you might be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana. If you're specifically pushing a child, ye karna hai, wo karo, that's a sign that you might not be, the bloodline might not yet be at the state of Kala Bhairava. It might still be at the state of Vattuka Swarna Krishna Bhairava. Do the other sadhana. I've given it. Many videos on Swarna Krishna Bhairava. Go through it. Kala Bhairava, when the bloodline is more or less khatam hai wo, the state of Shiva is more or less attained, and now Yatana you are speeding it. That is a difference. So children and how you look at your children should give you the state of the bloodline very clean. It will give you, project it onto your head. If you're looking at your child and you find that acha wo kar raha hai, wo karega, because I am mokshit, I am in the path of moksha, he will also go there ultimately. Today he might hate me, but one day he will absolutely understand me, because I have given him also moksha by liberating my bloodline. The state is there, and you're not pushing your son for something, pushing a daughter, for a young child into something that you wish you had done. Then if you're pushing that, you probably are still looking for that shine of Swarna Krishna Bhairava. If you're not pushing and you're attained, okay, you might be ready for Kala Bhairava. Hints, these are all just hints, right? Physical pleasures, you're not interested in brilliant trip jana hai, wahan jana hai, physically experiencing, physically going through. You're not addicted to any kind of a drink, social. The nature of avoiding society and society's ideology of pleasure is there within you. It has set in. Then you might actually be ready for this Kala Bhairava sadhana, because it is a lonely path. Right? Bhairava sadhana itself is a lonely path. He aligns you directly to your specific karma and your specific bloodline. Kala Bhairava path is when he is not even interested, and he does not sit anywhere in the Deva Loka, anywhere in the Deva's darbar. He sits in the state of Kashi only. That is the only place where Bhairava sits. So moksha is the only goal here. And even Brahma and Mahavishnu also did not understand this deity at all. Right? So if you are somebody who is not at all looking for any kind of physical pleasures, usme is on. It's a big problem with the mics. So if you're not looking for any physical pleasure at all, and you're over it, you're looking at the opposite gender, wo pleasure nahi aa raha hai, right? You're looking at your urge for an exceptional car is gone. Your urge for having a group where you sit down and have a chat is gone, because you find that they're all children. People elder to you, when they sit in groups and they talk, also you're looking at them like the realities of life have not set in. That's a general irritation for crowded activities, and you like to recluse and move, more looking forward to your own asana, and wish I had time to spend in my asana, and I'm not bothered about pleasing my boss. I'm not bothered about more friendship in my colleagues. I'm not looking for a trip where I go somewhere and have some booze. That is not how my life is. I am getting more and more reclused. This is a exceptional sign that you might be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana. Beautiful sign, because for society, unplugging is something that is very deeply rooted in the Shiva Tattva itself. किसी को पता ही नहीं वो कौन है, why he sits in the cosmic smashana. If Brahma, Mahavishnu and Mahesh's ashes from multiple cosmic galaxies that got destroyed is on Mahakala Bhairava. That is what the ashes, right? So societal pleasures and pressures will not apply to him. If that state is there within you, you might be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana. Any specific urge, ko ye mera enemy, I need to destroy him, I need to get tough, I need to get. There are many people who write fake content on me, they put it online, but very easily I could have taken them down with legal notice and put a case on them very easily. I am not even reacting, I have to be pushed for it. Now we are planning some things, but वो interest नहीं रहेगा, वो interest नहीं रहेगा to go after enemies. You understand that it was consciousness manifesting in that way to take you down. Enemies को destroy करना है, वो urge सब begins to crumble within you. You understand that probably it was just karmic, and there was some other life in which that soul, that Atma has been hurt by you, and it has come back to hurt you. This level of vairagya, if it is beginning to set in within you, you might be ready for Kala Bhairava sadhana. So go through this video at least 2-3 times. Don't hurry into the groups. Get out of this very childish mindset of you see a WhatsApp group, jump into it, exit it. Sort of foolishness please avoid in this, in my path at least, because I've had so many podcast invitations and all this. I'm trying to move out of that because the Janta crowd is not understanding the seriousness of sadhana. And if I go to these podcasts, I might again gain 20-30,000 followers who are not serious about sadhana yet. I think that they should organically reach here, right? So if you simply find this WhatsApp link, so don't just join it. Please watch this video 10 times, 100 times भी देख लो, उसके बाद join करना, because this is no longer the other, it's not like the other groups. This is Kala Bhairava Sadhana. It is Yatana that even Brahma went through. It is Yatana that Mahavishnu went through. It is Yatana that Mahesh went through as Nilakantha. Right? This is invocation of that cosmic pain that Yama puts you through while you're alive. That is Yatana. That is Bhairavi Yatana. It is different from the general Yatana that a body that is simply dead going that will go through. General no moksha cycle will simply keep repeating. To be alive and taking control of that Yatana and saying that put it on me now, put it on me. I want to go through that. Put it on me. Mere guru hai mere paas. I have the knowledge and the jnana of whatever suffering is being put onto me. There is a cosmic reason for it. If this jnana has set into you, then you join this WhatsApp group. Then you join this WhatsApp group. Do not simply jump into it. And every time I see somebody exiting, मन से निकल जाता है कि they have disrespected the group. Don't do that. I understand that they are not ready for it yet, but क्यों join करते हो? I have not even come on this big podcast and asked for followers, right? Organically अगर आ रहे हो तो आओ. I have not come onto any platforms where I have asked for like 1 lakh, 2 lakh people come and follow me, because I know that only those who are eligible should come. Right? So don't join the WhatsApp group because it is simply that. This is Kala Bhairava Sadhana, separate WhatsApp group. And I will release the Beeja mantra there. Whether we go through a form mode or we'll go through direct open sharing of the link, I will have to speak to my Shishyas and decide how that works. However, I want you to watch this video multiple times. It is the prana within this Beeja is different. It is not Bhattuka Swarnakashana Bhairava. Compulsorily you will have to do the Adhyakali Sadhana along with this. So Kala Bhairava, Adhyakali Sadhana. Graduate onto the Bhadrakali Beeja Mantra. After three Amavas, you can graduate onto the Bhadrakali Beeja Mantra. Along with that, for life, you will be doing the Kala Bhairava Sadhana. 3 years are going to be intensely painful. I'm going to tell you that now itself. It will be crumbling, right? Lekin when the body lies there with no control and Yama is the one doing that, you are liberated from that. Usme to you will be like, you will take control of your next birth. You will be in control of it. That is the concept of Kala Bhairava Sadhana. तुझे पता है कि तुम्हें next क्या करना है. That is Kala Bhairava. If you're ready for that, alone join this group. Otherwise, please do not join these groups. Many of you are extremely disrespectful. You join and you exit. All that when I see, like, I always wonder, I have never called for these 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh followers. Right? I never went to a public platform with 1 crore or 10 crore followers and pulled you all here. I have sat in my own asana and made the videos. Right? Wherever, if the asana is under this tree, I've sat there. If the asana is on the stage, I've sat there. I have never gone anywhere and advertised for you to come here. But yet, many of you join the WhatsApp group and very treat it very casually. That will give you very terrible karma. Wo mat karo. Join the WhatsApp group only if you are ready for it and you are going to walk it. You're going to walk it. At least the other 5 groups that we have, it is not Kala Bhairava. This one is Kala Bhairava. Right? It is for Kala Bhairava. Be serious. Do not join it and exit. बहुत disrespectful हो जाएगा. Watch the video 100 times. It is fine. Don't worry. YouTube might pay me some extra few thousands. That is okay. I'm not telling you for that. I don't want these WhatsApp exits from this group. That is disrespectful. Think and act. Right? That is why I've tried to stay away from pulling people who are not yet ready for this yet. Right? Who will organically come to us by finding one of our social media presence and then only get into sadhana. That is the kind of people I want, as opposed to pulling randomly people. Today, like if 10 lakh people think they're in Bhairava Sadhana, maybe 50,000 might be in Bhairava Sadhana. That's it. Others are just still treating him like any other deity. Absolutely not. The Bhairava's explosion begins with the biggest sin in scriptures, Brahma Hatya. First and foremost is Brahma Hatya. Procedural collapse is the niyama of this deity. And yet many of you have gone back to the four heads of Brahma. So 10 lakh doing, it is, unka Kala Chakra is like that. So after I'm dead and gone, after many centuries, they will probably come back as their own grandkids, great grandkids, and then they will have access to these video archives, and they will think that acha aisa karna hai kya, will do it. Do it right. Do it right. Understand the purpose of Bhairava Sadhana. He began with the greatest sin. So he says that in the greatest sin there is mukti. Ye understand karo. What does this mean? What am I saying? Ye understand karo. It was Brahma's Yatana. That is what it was when he was decapitated. And Yatana of Kal, Yama, and Yatana of Bhairava, Bhairavi Yatana, is completely different. This is while after death of the Stula, this is while the Stula is alive and operating. To take control of the moment the Stula dies, at that moment you are in control. That is the game. Go through this video multiple times. Do not jump into the WhatsApp groups. Don't make it a time pass one. I don't have Telegram groups because I find that where people's identity is hidden, where people are able to, if you're so hell-bent on keeping identity, then you're too identified with the body. You're not ready for it. You don't give a damn about your numbers, your presence, and I have only one number. I have only one, any page that I run will have my name, actual registered name, right? You cannot hide behind a name and say that I want to worship a Digambara deity. First and foremost, rejection have, right? So that's why we don't have Telegram groups. I do not like any anonymous thing. Anywhere where you can use a fake name, I do not consider that to be anything to do with Tantra or with Bhairava Sadhana. You have to be Digambara. You cannot reject your Stula's name and say that I'm going to be spiritual, but you have rejected your Stula itself. So many of these fake profiles and all that come and attack me. Kisko attack kar rahe ho? Kahan attack kar rahe ho? Where are you attacking? Right? I'm standing here with my original name. So that is why we have WhatsApp groups and not hidden platforms where you can hide under anonymity. वो नहीं चलेगा. Digambara. So I will try and post another video on Kala Bhairava Ashtakam by breaking the Gohya Vidya within it. There is a lot. There is a lot of it. People are simply reciting it. ऐसा नहीं है वो, बहुत deep है. Kala Bhairava Ashtakam is not simply Sanskrit translated to English and understand the meaning. बहुत deep है. I will break it down for you guys very soon, because now that we are on Kala Bhairava Jayanthi and we have to spend a lot of time on understanding Kala Bhairava, and the Adesh to give out the Beeja mantra has come. So let's really get into Kala Bhairava Sadhana for those who are eligible, right? Those who are in the Vattuka Swarna Krishna Bhairava don't have the mindset that you are in an inferior group. Inferior group nahi hai. Inferior nahi hai. Everybody has to go through it and come there ultimately. Understand this, okay? So, and one more video for the beginners. How do you start Bhairava Sadhana? What is it? It is not just one more deity ka sadhana. He began with Brahma Hatya. This people are not able to understand. They think it's a story. No, he began with Brahma Hatya. That is the crux of Bhairava. If you go back to the four heads and you say that as per the temple ka niyama, this niyama, that niyama, he decapitated Brahma. Yatana diya unko. First act was giving Yatana, intense pain, hellish pain to Brahma. That was the first act of Bhairava. Then he walks all over, goes everywhere. Everybody, Indra, sab kuch. When I break down the Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, you will understand that. He goes to Mahavishnu and gives him Yatana. When he takes the blood in the Kapala, which is mentioned in Skanda Purana. All my dogs have fallen asleep. She is Moon, the one standing here. Moon, hey Muni, Moon, come in. She is an extremely aloof one, right? Will not come if you call, will not give a damn about you. Loving to the core, the softest coat she has. If you touch her, she's like snow. She's like snow. Muni, she'll not come. She's like snow. That soft. Very cute she is. The cutest one I have is Moon. Right? One of her ears is a fly ear, which means ideally for Rajapalyan breed, the ear should fall like a triangle on this side, right? It should form a proper triangle. However, for her, one ear will be raised. It's called a fly ear, which has flown away from this one. So ideally she is half moon, Ashtami, right? So that's why I've named her Moon. I can't call her half moon, so I named her Moon. Beam is here. So I'll try to put most of my videos now from here. Some changes have happened in the Garbhagriha, the energy within Ma Kali, the Moola Vigraham that you all are used to. Some I have began some specific Smashan related vidhis there, so the energy is completely different, so she cannot be shown like that as I used to show before. No, a bit of Chitta Bhasma and all we have kept there, and there are certain vidhis happening. So I will show her when she gives the Adesh. She's just the same, but the vidhi and the process that is happening there is completely different, so we cannot show her like we used to. I think I'm done for today. Listen to this video a few times. Don't jump into it. Don't simply jump into it. Do not treat us as one more online influencer. I don't like the word influencer. I do not want to be a part of the influencing community. I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in making a good name with people who are alive, because say, let's say, understand life, right? How many of you can name your great grandfather? Very few, right? So many of us who are around here will not be remembered by name by our own grandkids, right? So we should not waste time in gaining good name. You should be brutally honest and give the brutally honest Vidya. It might make people around you alive right now hate you, but they will come back as their own grandkids, and then they will read what you are speaking today, because that is the Brahmanda Gyan, that is a cosmic truth. So don't waste time in impressing people who are around you, but use that time in destroying time, where they will come back and learn what you teach in the subsequent births. So hate, the word hate, Grina, is one of the names of Kali in Sahasranamavali. So he who hates you will come back as somebody who will learn from you in a subsequent birth. So don't waste time in making people love you, making people accept you. They're going to be back, right? You just focus on giving out the Brahmanda Vidya, Jnana, the Guhya Vidya in your asan. Don't go and sit on big stages where people are not organically coming. Organically aana chahiye, right? Do not go into artificial stages and project onto people who are not ready for it. Then what will happen is that people who are not serious about sadhana, simply they saw a video, they'll come. We don't want that in Kala Bhairava, at least. In this WhatsApp group, at least I don't want such people. I want people who are ready for it, committed, and they don't give a damn whether the number is seen or the DP is there and all that. The absolute focus is on moksha, right? This is serious stuff. So let us become serious. Jai Ma. Bhairava Kalike. Namostute. Jai Ma. Jai Shri Bama Khepa. Jai Shri Shama Khepa. Jai Khepa Parampara. Jai Ma. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Jai Madhya. Jai Madhya. Jai Madhya. Beam. Say bye. Karpa. Oh, my tone has put them all to sleep. Jai Ma.